Hey, Dave Spalding, Handgun Combatives. What I'd like to talk to you about today is a little misconception about trigger control. Many of you out there are doing what's called shooting to reset or pull and pin or holding the trigger to the rear. And it's a really bad idea in a fight. I don't care what you want to do in your competitions, but in a fight, I think you want to do everything you can to prevail, to win that confrontation. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the concept of pressing the trigger, holding it to the rear while the gun recoils, and then once it's back on target, letting it out to shoot. Now think about this for a minute. You're in a fight for your life. You're exchanging bullets back and forth. And do you want to come back on target and not be ready to shoot? Well, no big deal. You just let your trigger finger out a little bit. Really? Do you really think that when you are more terrified than you have ever been, when you're more amped up than you believe possible, that you're going to get back on target and you're going to do a little flip of the trigger like this? Probably not. What you're going to do is you're going to get back on target and your finger's going to fly open and then slam back on the trigger. The whole hand's going to open, the whole hand's going to close, and now you're going to slam that gun down, because what you do at this end greatly affects what happens at this end. Your hand's going to open and close like you're milking the teat on a cow. So don't count on that happening. What you're better off doing is what I call reset in recovery. And what I'm talking about is that you reset the trigger while the gun is recovering from recoil. Let me show you what I'm talking about dry fire. We're going to get the gun out here. We're going to press the trigger, and of course the gun's going to recoil. As you're coming back down on target, you want to reset the trigger so it's ready to shoot again. Now, let me show you what I do in my foundational classes to kind of run this home. Now, going to load up my Glock here. I don't put a target down there, and I have the students start one-handed. Why do I do that? More muzzle rise. So what it's going to look like is something like this. See what I'm talking about? As the muzzle is coming back down, I'm resetting the trigger so that when my sights are back on the threat, I'm ready to shoot again. It makes much more sense, and it results in much less index finger movement, because let's face it, if you move this finger a lot, the other fingers are sympathetically going to engage as well, and now you're not keeping the muzzle on target. So with one hand again, we go a little faster. And when the students get that down pat, now we add that good solid support hand. We put that support hand in with the fingers cammed down so that when they wrap around the front strap of the grip, it cams the muzzle down. So now we have that muzzle on target recoil control. Actually, it's not so much muzzle rise. Now recoil's more like a piston. So you could actually say that as the muzzle goes forward, so does the trigger. Looks something like this. So, reset on recovery. Don't recover and then try to reset the trigger. It's too slow, it's clumsy, it's not fast enough, and just give it critical thought. Why do you want to be back on target but not ready to shoot? That don't make for any sense whatsoever. Reset on recovery. That's the fast way to shoot accurately, with greater trigger control, and in a combat situation, you're on target, you're on the trigger. Dave Spalding, Handgun Combatives, thanks for checking in.